X-Force. Because
and Uncanny Avengers.
And of course the Uncanny Avengers, because, Hickman, and I've always loved John Cassaday's artwork. So I'm looking forward to seeing where
for the 3 issues he stays on.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to leave
stays on longer.
I wonder who will leave their book first, Lynn L.U. or John Cassaday.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. And
but can I say at least?
I think what the Thunderbolts lineup is interesting, but it's Daniel Way
and Steve Dillon.
Yeah, I'm like, screw that. I'm not reading that. I'm like, screw that. Like, hell no. I mean, that's an interesting team that they got.
Really, Chris? That's an interesting team. You mean Red Hulk, Deadpool, Punisher, and Elektra all together in one book written by Daniel Way, the most blandest writer in comic book history? That's interesting.
Plus, they all wear black and red, so they're about as bland as the New 52 Teen Titans. Yeah.
I am so picking up that bland book.
Take my $2.99.
Wow, I knew I had some rage for Daniel Way, but oof.
Because of that comic, it made Greg Rucka leave Punisher, and I'm not gonna forgive him for that. Fuck those guys. I'm not gonna pick up that lineup. He got mad over it and he left, and he's done. It pissed me off because Punisher.
See, that's why Marvel needs to fire Daniel Way. It's like, really, they kept him over Rucka.
Exactly. Is Rucka still is Rucka still with Marvel, or is he just completely gone?
No, he's doing indie stuff now.
He's going back to indie.
He's gonna finish up his Punisher run. Well, he finished the regular Punisher arc, but now he's gonna have a mini series, and then that's it. That's the wrap up for his art, and he's done. And then he's just gonna work on indie stuff. He's not going back to DC because they pissed him off too. So.
Oh yeah, I know for a fact DC screwed him bigger. They screwed him over bigger than Marvel did.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, when DC's being run by Dan Dictio, that guy just screws over everybody.
Mr. Paranoid.
Yeah.
God, I hate that.
Yeah.
But at least the exciting thing about Captain America by Remender and Romita, as long as Romita's doing this book, that means Kick-Ass 3 can't come out yet. Because that Kick-Ass sucks. That's a whole other thing. I'm glad Romita's doing a Captain America book. His Cap, Wolverine, and Spider-Man are my favorite things he does.
Yeah, and what I like about him is that he's consistent.
Yeah.
He is.
Although when he's rushed, like he was in the original Avengers book he did with Bendis, it is bad.
Right.
Yeah.
And AVX, the first half, I did feel he was rushed. I like his work, but the first half of AVX, it was like, oh, this is not his best work, man. It feels rushed. It's this comic's coming out twice a month. It felt way rushed, and it felt kind of sloppy towards the end of at least of him drawing it. It kind of suffered.
It seems weird they had Romita draw 5 of the 12 issues when they had, Kubert and Chung and...
Wasn't it 6? Did he do...
No, he did 1 through 5, and then it was Jim Chung for 2, and then it was Kubert for 8 through 11. Crap, I think Kubert did till the end, except for 10 or 11. 11 was Chung.
Yeah, quick question to everyone. What do you guys think of that Avengers Academy book? I know we're kind of this is kind of just space we're talking about Fallout of AVX, but that Avengers Academy, or as I like to call it, the Hunger Games of Marvel.
Oh, Avengers Arena?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, Dennis Hopeless, I have faith in him, because I absolutely
We have faith in Hopeless.
Yeah, I loved his X-Men Season 1. That was a great book.
Yeah. Speaking of Season 1 books, I really want to read Peter David's Avengers Season 1 next year.
Well, you can get it if you get Avengers on DVD at Walmart.
Cool.
You can get it early?
That's a freebie, I think, or it's like an extra pack if you buy Avengers at Walmart.
Is it like a preview or the whole book?
No, it's like the whole book, because that was supposed to be a hidden deal that got revealed. Because, Marvel can't keep anything under wraps for more than a week.
Yeah, it's like, Marvel sometimes is like the 5-year-old child, you tell them a secret and they can't keep their mouth shut for 2 seconds.
Hell, look, even today we found out that whole Superior thing is Slott, Stegman, Ramos, and Camuncoli, which
what?
is really going to piss off Dan.
Wait, is it Spider-Man or is it something else?
Well, it's 2 of the 3 Spider-Man artists. Ryan Stegman is a known Spider-Man artist, and Slott's currently writing, but Superior Spider-Man just doesn't sound right. And Slott's joke that it's going to be like Superior Squirrel Girl, which I would read.
It could be worse. It could be Superior Sentry.
Stop
don't
it.
say that.
I don't know what you're talking about, Tyler.
Stop that.
He's about as I don't remember him or Tanaris. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, at least with Tanaris, they did something interesting with him.
Well, yeah, and they said Thor's gonna die, and they replaced him. It turned out to be Ulik the Troll.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Thor was like the 3rd stunt death in a few years, where they say this character's dying. Thor and Bucky.
Well, Bucky didn't technically die, and that pissed me off even more.
Well, no, they said they're like, Bucky's dead, and then we find out Bucky's not dead. Because, they always want a character to die in a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he was now on D.
And that's kind of the thing why I didn't really care much when Xavier died in AVX number 11. Because I felt like it was kind of impactful when he was standing up to Cyclops, but on the other hand, I was like, he's died before, and death means little.
Multiple times. IGN put out a list of all the times he's died or thought to have been dead, or crippled and then walked again.
Yeah. He'll come back, he'll be reborn, but have a little baby wheelchair.
Cool.
And his hair. He'll look like James McAvoy.
Nice.
So, yeah, okay, so I guess we've pretty much covered everything.
Give me 1 second.
1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi. What comes after 2 Mississippi? Oh, right, 3 Missouri. Ha, yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess I'll ask you guys, while we wait for Mario, on a whole, final thoughts on AVX, and what would you grade it? Like, out of 1 out of 5?
6. Oh, you said 1 out of 5. Sorry. I give it a 4.
I'd give it a 3. I felt it was too long. Some of the characterizations were spotty, and the last issue was more or less set up for what's to come. And we know there's gonna really, all the consequences will be swept under the rug next year when Marvel announces yet another event. But for what it was, even though I find it unnecessary, I would give it a solid 3 out of 5. There was a lot I liked in this story, and I'm glad I did actually get around to picking it up.
Hey, guys, I have to go. I don't know if we're finished, or I'm gonna step out for a second, but I don't know if we're done or.
Oh, we're still recording.
Oh, okay. Well, keep recording that. I'll be right back then. But if not, this was fun though. I'll be right back then.
All right. So I guess we'll keep going. For me, I think I'm gonna give this a 3.5 out of 5. It was okay. There were some cool things. I gotta agree with what Rick was saying. Some of the characterization was spotty. Some of it does feel like it's another Marvel event. We'll know that, oh yeah, this will forever change the Marvel universe. Yeah, just wait a year and a half or even 2 years max. But I think this event, this is like the first time in a long time that I haven't read an event from Marvel that hasn't made me go, fuck this book. And because, for the longest time, Secret Invasion, Dark Reign, all the other, major events we've seen throughout all the other, throughout the universes, Fear itself, ooh, that burned me.
I hated Dark Reign, but I did like Siege, the ending.
Yeah, Siege was okay. That's another event, but then again, it just kind of wrapped up too fast, and I feel like they were just trying to say, oh, well, you hate the Sentry? Bye!
And I'll give them this. At least they haven't really done anything with Osborn since then.
I want Osborn back in Spider-Man.
Oh, wait, crap, they did the Heimer War again. Never mind.
Yeah, they used him. They used him in Avengers, but I want him back in Spider-Man where he belongs.
As Green Goblin.
Yes.
Oh, right, we covered this yesterday.
Yeah, I kind of called. I wasn't calling you stupid. I was kind of like, yeah, I didn't mean just goblins, Rick. I was.
No. Well, I was just excited because I'm more of a Hobgoblin fan. I just wanted to share that with you.
Okay, hell yeah,
I'm a big Green Goblin fan too.
I'm all for Roderick Kingsley coming back as the Hobgoblin. But then again, you kind of said he was dead earlier this year, Mr. Slot.
No, 2 years ago, because it looked like Roderick. It turned out to be Derek. Roderick's back, and he's going after Phil, who I like as Hobgoblin.
Oh, really? Because I want to punch him in the...
Hobgoblin.
Really? Because I want to punch that...
Younger brother.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know, it's, but with that said, I did like this event. This is an event that I think I can actually pick up and trade, or at least the tie-ins. The Versus tie-ins were really cool. There were some really cool straight-up character moments in just the tie-ins. I wish we got more of that in the books, in the main title itself, rather than just kind of shoveling it out there. But among other things, Marvel seems to have a really good idea and what a good plan of what they want to do now for the Marvel Now. No pun intended. And I think they do. I think this was a good setup point, but I'm still waiting for the Ultron War.
Yeah, I know. They keep pushing it back.
Yeah, they're kind of like
That's a good thing, in my opinion.
Hey, yeah, Chris.
That the point one issue is superfluous.
Yeah, Chris, did you forget that whose favorite Marvel villain that is in the room?
I know who's.
I think the Ultron War is going to be next year's big event, and then the year after that, it'll probably be something with Thanos for Avengers 2.
Oh yeah, that will be the thing. But yeah, I'm kind of waiting for Ultron War because oh yeah, it's coming. Especially they kind of hyped it up again in Moon Knight.
Yeah, isn't it supposed to take place in the future though? In that point one issue we saw. And why are they doing another point one issue and trying to make Nick Fury Jr. a thing?
Don't bring.
And I don't like Nick Fury Jr. But go ahead.
Actually, Mari, you can go ahead. You want to give out your? We were just basically kind of wrapping this up. What would you give this a grade out of 1 out of 5, and what are your final thoughts on AVX?
Okay. I would give it. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna say 3.5.
Hey, same as my grade.
Right. For an event, I'm grading, and that's a pretty decent grade for an event. It's not the worst event. I feel it did its task in that it had to, make more mutants be born, and it set up some interesting things, which is always awesome. It didn't do the awful reboot thing where let's change origins of characters and piss everybody off. So in that it did its job. I felt it went on way too long. I felt a lot of it sometimes was a money grab by Marvel, but DC's been guilty of that too. 12 issues is way too long. Overall, would I recommend it to a person? Yeah, now we get to the point where I'm kind of dicey on it. Would I recommend it to someone? I don't know if I would. Like, the casual fan, I wouldn't say this is a great thing, and I don't think I would recommend it to the casual fan. We read it to know what's going on in the universe, and in that it was effective, but it was okay. Those are my final thoughts.
All right. Well, that's pretty much. I think we've pretty much wrapped up everything. Unless Rick, were you trying to say something earlier?
Oh, yeah. I actually had a little quick thing I wanted to address. The other day when I was at my Barnes & Noble, I noticed this thing on the shelf, a marketing thing for Marvel called Avengers vs. X-Men, It's Coming, and it wasn't a prequel, but it was basically a bunch of scattered issues. It was like X-Men Second Coming #1, Schism #4, Avengers whatever the fuck, and it was just like a bunch of little collections of stories that kind of
I've seen that
X-Men related stuff. Yeah. And, like, the cover is an Avengers vs. X-Men cover.
Yeah,
because I feel bad for whoever picks that up in the store.
Yeah, because
it's like, Avengers vs. X-Men? Oh, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, because the only thing in that has anything to do with AVX is AVX #0 that's in that book.
Yeah, and it's only, like, 1/2 of AVX 0.
Yeah.
It's only the hope half.
Exactly. I like, what was the point of that book? It's kind of like when they did the prelude to Schism. There was no point to that book.
Yeah, seriously. Or the fact that they tried to tie Generation Hope into Schism for 2 issues.
Yeah. Again, what was the point in that? And you know what another thing is during Avengers vs. X-Men? What happened to Sebastian Shaw?
Oh yeah, he just kind of wandered off. And then the whole Phoenix 5 thing started.
Yeah.
But literally, he was just like, hey, thanks for letting me go. You teens are alright. Peace out.
Yeah. And that was the same thing I did like in one of the tie-ins of what they did with Sinister, because Sinister can do no wrong in my eyes. But yeah,
well, he can do plenty of wrong, but it's because he's a bad guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, anything badly written.
I know. I was making a poor joke.
Yeah, I award you effort. but yeah, with I just suddenly remember that. What happened to Shaw? Because I remember, like, he was kind of in a cell, and during the event of I think it was like the beginning of Avengers vs. X-Men, how he got out was bang his head against a book, and that's how he built up enough energy to punch out of his cell.
And then he just beat up all the teachers at the academy.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Deuces, I'm out."
What? Well, now they have villains to fight. Now the X-Men have villains to fight again.
Well, maybe he'll fight Hulk in Indestructible Hulk. One of the things Mark Waid wants to do is Hulk versus Hellfire Club.
Cool. Yeah,
yes.
That's one of the things that's gonna.
Oh, one last thing about AVX. There was no need to break up Storm and Black Panther. I just wanted to throw that out there. That was a completely pointless thing for them to do. Yeah. It just proves that Marvel hates married couples.
Yeah, unless
except for Reed and Sue.
Exactly.
Those two just seem to hate each other like a bitter married couple that know they wouldn't survive without each other.
Yeah.
Like Adventure Brothers.
Exactly. That was kind of another thing I was thinking. I didn't want to bring up because I actually, it's funny because I called it when I did my thoughts on the video when AVX was announced. I was kind of like, I bet this will happen, and sure enough, it did. But they kind of explained it more. I know they kind of just mentioned it in the main issues, but in the AVX versus tie-in, they kind of said that there was a fight between Black Panther and Storm, and yeah, and like T'Challa, it's kind of like, I actually said, you're kind of a jerk for doing that, but he actually invented a machine in Wakanda that could actually nullify Storm's powers. Like, he could actually shut off the weather.
Yeah, that'll end any marriage. Hey, I don't want to have an argument with you, so I'm just going to shut off your powers.
Yeah.
Because you scare me a little.
Yeah, and he never told Aurora or anyone. Like, he actually personally invented it and never told anyone.
Well, he personally divorced her because only a high priest of Wakanda, which he was, could. So it's basically like, hey, Aurora, I annulled us. I'm going to go, look, it's nothing personal. There's just this really, really hot pygmy chick, the next village over. So, take care.
No, well, the point of, look, I've always said it, I never enjoyed the marriage, period. I'll come on and say that right now. I didn't like the marriage. I thought it was just a ploy to, like, well, here's the next biggest marriage in comics now. I felt, because of the fact that there was one story that went back when they were kids, I'm like, okay, so that's supposed to be it.
Yeah.
But it was also the factor of, we should have never known that it wasn't going to last, because, Storm was always showcased, even when they did a miniseries with Storm, that her time was balanced between life as an X-Men as Queen of Wakanda. You can't have both. And the position that she was in, it was hard. It was going to be hard on her. So I was like, when I saw that, I just was like, okay, that's stupid. They shouldn't have done it in the first place if y'all were just going to...
And the other thing was, the only time I ever cared about them as a married couple was during Doom War.
Right.
Or World War Hulk when they were on the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
But we know that was kind of pointless, because Johnny still got his ass whooped.
And still, that was the only excuse they had to see the Marvel Zombies after, Robert Kirkman's Marvel Zombies. Yeah, but, I think we've covered everything, more or less. Yeah. But yeah, for anyone who's still out there, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and...
Should we sign off, like, one by one, or something?
No, I'll just stop the video.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this, and we're out.
Peace out.
Later.
Bye.